So hello and welcome to this week's video. Today I'm going to discuss the human inversion that is happening in our world today. Where is all this leading? Why does it seem that we are going backwards in society? We are having a rise in mental health, a cost to our living, our economy seems to be shrinking and money running out, when for anyone that understands the monetary system, you will know that money can never run out. It's actually a wealth transfer. And this has happened every time we have a recession or a dip in the economy. So where is all this money going? So who is benefiting from this? The people? There are many problems that could be solved very quickly in this world. So why don't they get solved? Why don't our leaders solve these basic issues and address the real problems that are happening? Why don't we utilise all those empty farm fields around the UK, all over the world for that matter, and start growing food for local communities instead of importing all those fruits and vegetables, frozen foods that are actually doing more damage than good? How do we spend billions on arms yet countries are economically broken? How is that some billionaires have doubled their profits in the last few years? Why are we not educated about the economics to this system? The list goes on and on and on, and it seems that when we are faced with a problem and attempt to solve it, another problem arises. The reason is because we are never solving the root cause, so we stay in that loop, repeating the same patterns. When we invert the value of human beings, we allow other forces to take control because we are basing that reality on that inversion, a false concept or a lie. But no matter what, truth will surface the more human consciousness develops. And they actually know this. So they have to take people to that crazy place, that inversion, so that that control structure stays in place, just as it has done throughout our history and in the past. Once you look at ancient history and beyond the mainstream to the version of what we're told and actually research our archaeology and study these old buildings, cultures and the events that have happened around the world, you will see that we have no doubt have had ancient technology that can create electric and natural power. So why do we not have these systems in use today? Where has this technology gone? Why has this knowledge been suppressed, hidden, or even possibly deleted? Is it just about control, or is there something much bigger at work that we have to question? Money and control is one aspect, but again, when you look into this, you will see that it goes a lot deeper than most can believe. I have been making films about the hidden concepts of human life for years and use film and video to express my thoughts. I've made all sorts of films, and my first successful film was The Longest Night, which is based around the Mayan calendar and the end of the cycle in 2012. But the more I look at our hidden world, the more I am inspired to make films and videos and create ideas around the incredibleness of this planet. I've always been driven to make work on subjects I am passionate about. This has drove me to make the Human Psyche series, which is on the channel, explaining the archetypes we have in society and this spiritual journey we are all on. Light and dark are the duality that we have on this earth, but ultimately they don't exist. They are just constructs that we've been given. Understanding this is essential for our spiritual development. So I wanted this series to give you a deeper understanding to the society we are in and help you develop yourself. That's when I wrote the book Human Inversion. When you're young, you think you can change the world. Of course, you can contribute to that change, but the more you grow older, you will see that you can only actually change yourself. And the problems in the world are a lot down to people actually not dealing with their self-development. And this has brought us to this point now. This has kept us in that negative loop, and we're just going round and round repeating the same patterns. It's not a dark power, aliens, dictators. Yes, of course, we have evil in this world, and there is people that hugely manipulate people's minds. But ask the big questions. How does society go backwards in its development? Or it seemed to go backwards, because it doesn't seem to be progressive enough, does it? But when you logically look at this question, you will see that for this to happen, we have to have reality based on some sort of lie. And for it to be falsified or wrongly communicated to what the actual truth is. This is the law of attraction, as it works on many levels, good or bad. You are already attracting this reality right now. Everything's coming to you right now. Even this video is a sense of attraction. The reason we get into a mess is because we don't participate in ourselves. We don't create our own reality. We look outside of ourselves to find happiness. Your mind is creating the basis to how you see this world, conditioned by history, education, laws, governments, the communities you live in. We are taught a version of the news or history from a perspective, which is his story. So it's someone telling you a story, and who's writing that story? There are, of course, real events that have happened and cannot be disputed because of archaeological evidence and multiple witness accounts. But like I am sure a lot of you know, when the mainstream media news broadcasts a story, there is always another story around that. So his story will be exactly the same and is to be always questioned and verified. This is vital if we want a civilization to exist in a co-productive way. History is incredibly important to understand. Yes, we are in this moment, in the now, but the past has brought you to this moment. So history needs to be looked at and revised and corrected if it is not the truth. And that can be deeply disheartening for some people because they spend years researching history that is only actually a half-truth. We have filmed many podcasts about Great Tartaria in the last year as we saw it as very important to bring this information out at this time. Why is Tartaria not in our history books? This is just one example of something in our past that has been altered or shifted, or even like it's been actually completely deleted. This civilization most certainly existed. They were highly advanced in spiritual development and using a completely different kind of science, putting spiritual development as a major part of their civilizations. We covered this information on the Sacred Wisdom podcast, so please check them out if you haven't already. It would seem the reason why Great Tartaria was deleted was because it didn't fit the New Age and their plans on where they wanted to take society. And that's a more controlled, regulated society. It's not a good place. Now, maybe that was for a whole reason we don't understand yet, but there is a huge history to Great Tartaria and it definitely existed. Another very strange part to our history is the World Fairs, which are completely surreal to the level of technology they had within them. Where did all this technology come from? Why did we go with the Edison route of electricity? Yes, we are told for reasons, and I can't believe just how many people have actually just accepted those reasons when you actually just look at the basic history and what was going on at that time. Again, when you research Nikola Tesla, you will see that there are a lot of free energy type devices that could have been developed. Remember that Nikola Tesla created the world wireless system in 1902, in which he could broadcast electricity. But this was abandoned in 1906. I wonder why that was. For our benefit? Another inversion or distortion are the moon landings. Yes, some of the footage is highly suspect. Maybe they are fake, but that doesn't mean space is completely fake. I mean, why is it displayed to us if it wasn't existing at all? Is it just to create a fake reality? Whatever your beliefs are, space has been very well documented. Why do so many ancient cultures speak of space? The stars, other planetary systems? Space, the moon, planets exist, but we are certainly not getting the truth to that reality. And what if space was something vastly different to what we've been told? Whatever the case, how would you even know? Once you look into what the ether is around this planet, and you will see that there is already an electrical field built into our Earth that we can all tap into and harness. There is a way to do this. This is just an idea, a creative thought, but what if space is actually part of a huge electrical grid and we are actually observing an astral realm above us? And we are only limited by this 3D technology that keeps us in this small little bandwidth of what we're actually seeing. Not all of history and events is a lie, but it has been distorted. And once it's distorted, it can be manipulated and taken anywhere it likes. Then people are educated in that distortion, following that line of thinking, becoming manipulated themselves, and then become lost souls. And there are many lost souls on this planet. And it's very sad to see at this time where people have become so contained within this inversion. The rise in mental health is because people are extremely lost when trying to find and function in this inverted reality. Who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past. This quote by George Orwell makes a lot of sense when you understand history and what he was getting at. When you look at ancient history, you will see lots of different layers and a completely different reality and world that we once lived in. So for us to empower ourselves, we have to first stop being manipulated. And that will mean switching off the mainstream media. Media on all levels for that matter. Media wants to control you. That's its job. It seems to be built to mislead you and misinform you. It wants to give you a perspective, a version of that story. But what happens when you switch off that television, you switch off that media, and you start to look at your own story, your own perspective, discover for yourself? You will find that there is no hold over you, has no power. It cannot manipulate you into something you are not. I cover a lot of these subjects in my book, Human Inversion, which is available in paperback or ebook on Amazon. I have had many experiences in my life with the system and the darker elements of this world. I have found a way not to let the outside world distract me from my goals and what I actually want to achieve in my life. Ways that I can stay focused and ways to let this information, dark information, empower you and not let it swamp you negatively. You are never a victim, only a conscious participant. As much as a situation might seem negative, there is always reasons and an understanding that you can gain from it. So look at it with clearness, clarity. Don't get mixed up in the politics and drama of it. Understand how you can grow from it. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't already by clicking under the video. I appreciate all of you so much, and thank you to everyone that's subscribed to the channel over the last few years. You've made this channel grow into something very special. Really appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. And lots more films, videos, podcasts, documentaries, and so much more coming up on the channel this year. So thank you everyone, and I will see you soon.